Assalamu alaikum and good day. Hi there. Today we are going to learn one reading skill, which is understand and synthesize linear and non-linear text. I hope you're ready. Now this is our objective for today's lesson. By the end of this video, you should be able to understand and synthesize linear and non-linear text. However, I would like to remind you that this video is specifically for your preparation for your WE013 exam, which is going to be in November. Now, let me start by sharing this quote with you. Read and be better. Don't read and just be. I believe that in order for you to score band 4, 5, and 6, you need to read a lot, especially academic text. Now let me share with you again the description for WE013 reading. The code is 800/3. The weighting is 40%, meaning that it makes up the bulk of your WE013 results. And the duration is 90 minutes. You have 6 texts that you have to read and then answer the questions. The basic criteria for text selection, the length is from 200 to 700 words. The level of complexity and the text type differs. And the possible genre, you have articles from journals, newspapers and magazines, academic text, and electronic text. However, based from my observation, normally the texts are very academic and very technical. And the rhetorical style, the text sometimes it is analytical, descriptive, persuasive, argumentative, or narrative. There are 45 questions, and of course they are all objective. The possible question type, you have 3 option multiple choice question or MCQ and 4 option multiple choice questions. And the skills tested, you can always check from the website www.mpm.edu.my. On the screen now is a sample of a non-linear text. Now in the WE013 reading, the type of questions for non-linear text, normally they will ask you the 3 option MCQs. And the 3 option MCQ here means the true, false, and not stated question. I will explain to you later after I show you the linear text. Now, this is a sample of a linear text. So the type of questions that you will have to answer are the 3 option and 4 option MCQs. You will have the true, false, not stated, as well as other types of MCQs such as A, B, C or A, B, C, D. Now, the first type of questions that you will have to answer in the WE013 reading paper is true, false, not stated kind of questions. Normally, you will have to answer this question from question number 1 until question number 10. So what does it mean actually? So for the true statement, it means that if the statement agrees with the text, the answer is true. And of course, if it is false, it means that it disagrees with the text. The answer is false. And then for not stated, if it is impossible to determine the truth of the statement, then the answer is not stated. I know it might sound a bit confusing now, but as I go through the sample or the practice, then you get to understand what does it mean by true, false, and not stated kind of statement. Now let's go through this one paragraph, okay, this one example for true, false, not stated. Let's read together, shall we? Flood victims in Thailand are evacuating their homes as flood water continues to rise. More than 500 people have drowned in the flood, and humanitarian organizations are anticipating more deaths as many have been relying on dirty water for drinking. Now let's look at the question. Flood victims in Thailand died because they had been using dirty water. So the options given are A, true, B, false, and C, not stated. Now, what do you think the answer is? Shall we look at the text again, or the paragraph? You can see that some words in the text are similar to the words used in the question. However, does it have the same meaning? Let's look at the first one, flood victims. You have the word flood victims in the question as well. You have the word in Thailand. You have in Thailand too. Then you have the word drowned. However, in the question, it is died. So you have to think whether drowned and died have similar meaning or the same meaning. And then you have the word using dirty water. You have in the text or the paragraph dirty water for drinking. So now these are normally strategies that test writers or the papers will use to test you whether you understand the words or not, whether they have similar meaning or whether they have the same meaning. So similar and the same, they are not the same. So I hope I make that point through, that in order for you to really excel in reading, you really have to read a lot. Now let's look at the question again. The question or the statement states, flood victims in Thailand died because they had been using dirty water. Because here indicates the cause of why flood victim died. Now my question is, was it the cause of why flood victims died? Let me direct your attention again to the question. Flood victims in Thailand died because they had been using dirty water. However, is that the reason why they died? Now, do you get the same answer? Do you get the answer as false, which is option B? If you look at the question statement, flood victims in Thailand died because they had been using dirty water. The whole question says that all flood victims in Thailand died because they had been using dirty water. But if you look at the text, it states that more than 500 people have drowned. So you know that not all flood victims died, right? And if you look at the link, because, so the question says that all flood victims in Thailand died because, which is the cause of their death, is they had been using dirty water. However, if you look at the parentheses in yellow, you can see the phrase humanitarian organizations are anticipating. Anticipating means they predict, they foresee that more deaths many as many have been relying on dirty water for drinking. So we do not know whether they are going to die or not, I mean these flood victims, but the humanitarian organizations already anticipated, because these people, these flood victims, they drink dirty water. So option A, true, is not the answer, because the question or the statement does not agree with the information in the text. Because we know that not all flood victims in Thailand died because they had been using dirty water. Now for option C, not stated, that is also not the answer, because some parts of the statement are relevant to the information in the text. Because you know that you have the word dirty water for drinking, you have flood victims in Thailand died, but the thing is, do you know that is the main cause of them dying? So you do not know, right? So that is impossible for you to determine the truth, and therefore option C, not stated, is not the answer. Now, when you want to answer true, false, not stated, you really have to look at the question statement or the question as a statement. And you have to study these aspects whenever you want to answer this type of questions. The first thing is the conjunctions. You need to know for, and, but, because, or although, and how it functions in a sentence or in a statement. And this you will learn through repeated practice, and or you can ask your lecturers more about it. And also the second one is quantifiers. More, most, least, few, many. Sometimes in a statement, they simply insert these quantifiers to throw you off a bit or to test you whether you understand. And words which sound like it has similar meanings. For example, the word see. You can have the synonym like watch, look, observe, view, and stare. However, these words are different in terms of meaning or how it is used in a text. And the reason is, for Moet reading, every word is specifically selected for the question or for the text. So you must really read a lot and find out whether the word is similar or has the same meaning. Then finally, meaning of the whole statement. A word or phrase which may seem similar to the text could alter the entire meaning of the statement. So for Moet reading, you really need to understand. It's not just about finding the words or finding the clues from the text. You have to understand the meaning or the intention of the statement. Then only you are able to answer the question well. I hope by now we have achieved our objective for today, which is to understand and synthesize linear and non-linear text in reading. Let's try questions 1 to 7 on pages 68 and 69, and also questions 8 to 14 on pages 70 and 71. All the best! See you soon. Bye!